Well, many of those lucky enough to have had a relaxing summer break in the past few weeks may now be feeling the back to work blues. While a post-holiday slump is entirely normal, it could also be a sign that it's time to change jobs. Dr Libby Sander is the MBA Director and Assistant Professor in Organisational Behaviour at Bond University. She joins us now. Hi Libby, good evening to you. I mean, is this your situation as well? Are you feeling the back to work blues?
Good evening, Casey. I'm just easing back into work this week, so perhaps not as bad as some people might be feeling it.
We'll check in with you again next week then, maybe. What is this feeling that people feel as they come back after a kind of relaxing summer break? And is it normal? Is it normal for everyone to feel this way?
Yeah, look, I think most people will, it's great if we can't wait to get out of bed and rush into the office. But for most people, if you've had a lovely, relaxing holiday break, you've been at the beach, enjoying the beautiful weather we have in Australia, it's, a bit tough to go back into the office and, get back to the cubicle. But I think the thing to look for is how long do you feel like that? But certainly when you first go back, it's pretty normal to feel that way.
Is it in employers' interest to help workers readjust to office life? And if so, what could they be doing?
Yeah, I think one of the things to think about is that, since the pandemic, stresses have increased in all areas of our life. And when they go on over a period of several years, we know that that can heighten the risk of burnout. So most employers at the moment are certainly concerned about retaining talent, about mental health in the workplace. The Committee for Economic Development of Australia found recently that mental health in the workplace is a huge issue, costing the Australian economy around $70 billion a year. So I think anything we can do to look at, is this just a post-holiday slump, or are there bigger issues here with overwork, understaffing, and even things like culture and job design?
I was going to ask you about burnout because in this pandemic era, a lot more people, professionals particularly, are working from home. A lot of them are working longer hours. Is there any information, is there any data around, are we seeing more burnout, in this pandemic era we live in?
Yes. Late last year, around 46% of Australians, research showed, were feeling like they were burned out. And even leading into Christmas, we were kind of already feeling this slump. Around 60% of Australians had felt that they had worked too much last year. And sometimes that's a function of people being away sick and what we've seen during the pandemic. But sometimes it is a culture of overwork and, it is actually bad job design or perhaps management capability. So there are sometimes deeper issues that we have to look at, that simple mindfulness measures like taking breaks, drinking water, offering yoga classes at work, those kind of initiatives can only go so far.
Can you give us some tips? How can you tell the difference if we're back at work this week and we're starting to feel that kind of slump? What's the difference between just feeling flat for a bit and a sign that maybe, you've got broader issues?
Look, I think if it goes on for, 3 to 4 weeks, if you have concerns about the amount of work you're doing, if you're having trouble switching off after work, if there are concerns about leadership or culture in the organisation, I think they're red flags. Certainly something to talk to your manager about and see what can be done to address that. Having more flexibility has certainly helped a lot of people, and most Australians, around at least 3/4, are now wanting flexibility in their work. And recently the federal government passed laws to make it easier for employees to ask for flexibility. So that could be one thing as a starting point that can help manage work-life tension. Often our stress comes from factors outside of the workplace as well, but often there are a significant number of stresses internally as well that might need to be looked at.
And Dr Libby Sander, before I let you go, lots of people, including me, are probably thinking, when can we next take a holiday? So can you give us some advice? Is there any research around whether it's better to take one big long break or lots of small breaks through the year?
So apparently taking a shorter break, research says, is better. We're less likely to feel that slump, but for our well-being, taking a longer break and making sure we're taking our leave is really important. Around 2/3 of Australians aren't taking their annual leave because of overwork or because of financial concerns. And so I think that definitely compounds the problem. So taking breaks is super important, even if you're going to feel a little bit flat when you first come back.
So take lots of holidays all through the year at all times, as much as possible. Is that what you're saying?
as much leave as you're able to take, as much as you're allowed in your job. I think, yes, we should be using all of our annual leave.
Dr Libby Sander, good advice. Hopefully we can take you up on that, and we'll have lots of holidays in 2023. Thank you.